I didn't necessarily know how to express to him to the point where he could understand exactly how I felt. So one night there was an argument about a situation, and that changed everything. I had immediately just checked out. I was just done. I didn't even care if we were married, if we were together anymore. Because it just felt like it was just never going to stop. Like it was like, will you please just get it? But I decided, that's fine. I went back to Vegas, and I had just had a job. I just got a new job, and it was this guy. He appeared as a friend. He would listen. He would, make me laugh, and it was everything that I wasn't getting at that time. And sure enough, it led to infidelity.
And then how long did it take for him to find knowledge about it?
Oh no, it was immediate.
Yeah.
Because it was convicting. Like I was convicted. Like I was like, I cannot hold that. Like I called him immediately, and we were both in tears.
So you called him immediately. I want to put a reference around it. Immediately, like what? The next day?
No, like that day, that night.
So you slept with this guy, and then you called your husband up and told him.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. First and foremost, shout out to old girl, because she actually, if you do that straight away, I gotta give you some balls, because most people wouldn't even do that. So shout out to her for actually doing that as well, in that particular space. Because once people start cheating and signing out, so then sis, you weren't really signed out, were you really? No, you were feeling a discomfort. And this is the thing about people who have an insecure attachment, which includes myself and other people. The one thing you really need to start working on is being able to exist in discomfort. I found myself, this is God, I'm going to take this now. God is challenging me on this aspect. Something he's challenging me on is being able to sit in discomfort. Many of us can't sit in discomfort. This is why cheating happens. The cheating happens because we're unable to sit in discomfort. And because the discomfort is affecting us, we want a solution to get out of it. So, of course, she mentioned something really powerful. She says, oh, for me, I checked out. I thought the relationship was done. How can you? You never discussed that in the relationship. If you never finished with him in the relationship, and I'm not even talking about even divorce. I'm talking about the actual relationship. That's why it's called cheating. In your head, you were done. No. You couldn't deal with any more discomfort. There were too many arguments. And rather than telling him, listen, I'm done and it's over and it's finished, right? You didn't do that. Instead, because of the discomfort and what you had experienced in your childhood wounds and what you had gone through, right, you took advantage of a situation. Many of us are like this. That's actually the truest nature of when it comes to cheating. Many people can't explain it because it's too dark for them to explain it. You took advantage of the other person. They are your secure base, and you took advantage of the secure base, and you went and did what you did. I've cheated before, so I know, okay, right? And oftentimes, that's the darkest part of it that people don't want to admit. You felt like you had the audacity, but you also had the justification to do what you did. Okay, both men and women do this. It's not just a woman thing, it's both men and women. People who can't sit in discomfort. And then what ends up happening, okay, is that we end up choosing something that's going to cause us further harm down the road for that temporary pleasure. We get beguiled by the temptation. Okay, but no, there's no temptation that is more than you can bear, and there's no temptation that isn't existing first and foremost that's within you first. You have to be tempted by it. Like if I don't like chocolate, I can't be tempted by chocolate. You know what I'm saying to you, right? So in this instance, we are seeing how a woman in this place also got tempted to sleep with somebody else. And there are more stories like this, but the reality situation is most men are not going to come out. Why? Because men will absolutely lambast other men. So men are afraid of what other men's thoughts are. Shout out to this man, because he's very emotionally intelligent, very astute, very sound. I mean, she looks like she's clinging on to him for dear life. I ain't gonna lie to you. We can discuss that in the live when I do the live breakdown later on. But this is a quintessential example of what it looks like.
That's powerful. Now I understand why he stayed. This is so good. This is so good. If we can all understand. So, how did you feel hearing that, Keith?
So like when she first called and told me, I'm like, oh, she joking.
Yeah, he
like,
thought it was real. He didn't think it.
And so like especially like mentally where I was at that time, like I was like, nah, this ain't piling on top of this. So
what you mean? Because that wasn't when you were going through depression. Your father was still alive during that time, wasn't he?
He was still alive. Around that time, like I said, I was playing college ball. I was at a junior college. Had some scholarship offers that was on the table. It was actually gonna set us right up in Atlanta where we was planning to go. And I was in a point of just like pride in my life in a sense. I feel like God had to humble me. And so I tore my MCL and my meniscus a week before our rivalry game, and all scholarships got dropped instantly. And so like I remember I was in my room on my crutches. Like, man, I think I was talking to my roommates in the living room, and I got the call. I was like, I'll be right back. So I went back.
This girl done cheated on him in his lowest hour. The biggest fear of any man out here he done got cheated on when he was at his lowest time, when he really needed his wife to back him. You know, he did the honorable thing by loving her and marrying her. You know, when he was young, he ain't out here in them streets. And a brother's on crutches, broken, finished, you know, had a meniscus tear. His whole career is up in flames. His life has turned upside down. And what does this girl go and do? End up cheating on him. Now, why am I saying it like that? Because, like I said, a lot of the stories we hear is about the men and how, you know, scary they are. There's both men and women are scary. When people cheat, they usually cheat at the most scariest points in your lifetime. I'm gonna lie to you. Okay, all right. People who cheat, they are scary. I am one of those people who have cheated in the past, so I can be scary. So I know what scary people look like. I'm not trying to condemn anybody or never uplift anybody. It's more of a case of, let's just call it a spade a spade. This brother was a good brother trying to treat her right. Now, I do believe there's some things that you probably need to work on in terms of assertiveness and also probably boundaries. Because one thing I keep telling you, I know by the way she was talking that she herself probably is like a fearful, avoidant kind of attachment. Those people there, if you don't give them boundaries, yeah, you're going to find out. I ain't gonna lie to you. You go and find out. And that's the one thing I learned to myself. I said, I need boundaries too, but I'm also going to give you boundaries. I'm not afraid to let you know, listen, this is unacceptable behavior, and this is what I expect from you, right? So everyone's got to live by that code. You mess that up, that's between you and God. You better hope that God tells me to come back, because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably going to be finished. That happened in the last relationship, and I tried, I really did, and then I just felt disgusted. I can't lie to you. And so when someone cheats on you, it's like I felt that disgust. I was like, ugh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I can't look at the person the same way, bro. So, you know, like it will do a number on you.
In the room, I was talking to her, and then she was telling me, I'm like, nah, it's a joke. This ain't happening right now. And then when I started to like hear her crying on the phone, I'm like, yo, she's serious. And so it was at that point I was kind of like a ball of emotion. I was angry at one second, but then I was hurt. Yeah, I was confused, and I was like still in disbelief of like, nah, she just playing. She's an acting major. She playing. So
this can't be real. I know she ain't telling me this.
Exactly. And so like that was where my emotions were with it. Yeah. And
how did y'all bounce? No, let me ask you that. So after it came, the reality hit that this is real. How did you internalize that?
I kind of like went to like the angry Keith, like wasn't really, I didn't really talk to a lot of people. I was very snappy with a lot of people, even with her during those times, because I think when people see that, okay, our testimony, he forgave, it wasn't instant. No, I was, you know, I went through a different, I really became like a different person for a while. Yeah. Everything as far as like the gentle speaking Keith and stuff like that.
He actually turned into my dad.
Yeah.
Not her saying that he turned into her dad, baby. Not me turning into your dad.
And so that was going for a long time. And then, you know, I finally came around after a long time of prayer.
Put time. I need to know reference. People going through some stuff right now, and some of them feel like they ain't never making it out. Some people saying, "Get over it. I cheated on you yesterday. Get over it." They be like, "What? You know, it was 6 months ago. It was 4 months ago. That was a year ago. Why you keep bringing this up?" So put reference around it. How long did it take for you to turn your heart around and say, "You know what? I'm staying here, and I love you, and we're gonna work this out."
Right. So as far as like deciding that I was gonna for sure stay, I want to say that took maybe 3-4 months before I really had decided, okay, we're like, I'm gonna stay. We're gonna stick this out. For a while, we were kind of just like back and forth with each other. And then I was still in California. She was in Vegas. So we just made sure, okay, like we tried to keep our phone calls cordial. And when I would come home or whatever for breaks, and, you know, we may, you know, see each other, hang out and stuff like that. And I mean, we were living together as well. But it was about 3.5-4 months, especially once I got back home. I was at church like every Sunday, just trying to figure out something, like how we was gonna work through it. And then we finally got to that point. As far as getting to the point to where I would not bring it up. Now that was a long time.
Oh,
that was years.
No, just yesterday.
Yeah. And that's where some of those conversations would come up.
I want to say first and foremost, obviously, Latoris is laughing here with the gentleman and the lady when someone's been cheating on. And I'm not trying to defend Latoris. It's just that I don't like when people try to make it like it's not a common thing. He laughs in every single thing. I can't lie to you. The brother laughs in every single video. And now we've got a man who's been cheated on. He's laughing here too. So it's not like he's laughing at somebody's pain. Rather, he tries to mirror what the other couple are actually bringing to the table. So he cracks a joke. He's laughing. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying to you. But like I said, this situation here is wild, right? Because obviously, old girl stepped out, okay, in his most darkest time. And now he's talking about how he has to forgive. And I can't wait to do the longer version because it actually is a full down breakdown. But in this instance, he's letting us know how much the process takes. And I always tell you that it can take anywhere from 6 to 24 months, and usually it takes 24 months because most people don't know how to do the work. When I was researching this, when I got betrayed, I like to call betrayed, but when I got betrayed, I went to research a lot of this stuff, and I was like, damn, it takes a long time because it's like a meniscus tear. It is like an MCL or an ACL that you tear. It's not about when you come back. It's not about when you find some strength to walk. It is about it being stable enough to do the same activities you were doing before. And so when someone cheats on you, that's what happens, right? But I love the fact that these two are able to explain in depth what they kind of went through. Now, again, I wish there was a little bit more depth because I think they were so well versed to speak on it. And the way that obviously he articulated why he actually forgave her as well was such a powerful thing as well.
But where it was like, okay, if you said you're gonna forgive me, when are you going to? Because you're still bringing this up. We have an argument about who left the dishes out.
Tell me, yo, cheater, all of this was wrong with you.
Exactly. And so it was that was just something that took
Some time.
years. Yeah. And even where we had I think fully healed and really got to our best point in our marriage was about like maybe 3.5 years later. Like it's a slow process. And like I think people do think it's quick just because you hear the testimony now. It's new to you, it's not new to us.
For real.
Yeah,
So
you don't know what we went through.
exactly. And so that was years of work.
So a man,
and to be honest, listen, they went through a whole lot of other stuff as well. It wasn't just the cheating. But when I do the large breakdown, I'm going to talk about his body language. This still makes him uncomfortable. And I think I get it because again, he's a man and we have egos. You don't know how you're going to be perceived by other men. Respect amongst other men is a massive thing for men. I know the ladies are going to tell us they can do the same thing, but let's not talk about that. For us as men specifically, it is massive to have respect by other men. So the fact that he took her back it's like a public shame. You know what I'm saying to you, right? So now he's taken her back and covered her. It's difficult to talk about because this is why men don't come out and tell about the cheating, because it gives other men the room to insult you and laugh at you, blood. Right? It takes a very strong man. And I respect this man here. A couple of years ago, I probably would have been looking at him like, bro, don't be a chump. But as I've come to understand more about relationships and understand more about marriage, understand more about how people move and why we forgive people and stuff like that. Because, I was a hard nut. I wasn't about forgiving anybody. But I understand it now. You know what I'm saying? I can only give my respect to this man because he's still loving her in the right way. And because of that, he has a woman that is ready to respond to him and love him back as well.
How did that feel to you from an ego standpoint?
So from an ego
I'll be asking questions on it.
Yeah. So
don't talk this thing.
So from an ego standpoint, like it was a hit because as a man, I think we think of things so physical that right away it was inadequacy. Like, okay, like what am I not enough like for her? Like, and I'm not thinking emotional. I'm not thinking anything else. I'm thinking like, okay, this got to be all physical. Why she did this? Because in most cases, that's what
men do.
Exactly. And so it took that hit then, and then at the same time, it was like I felt like somebody had a leg up on me. Like it was a game that somebody else was playing. Like, I got you.
And let me tell you this now. I'm going to end this point. That is probably the scariest thing about someone cheating on you. It is the fact that you feel like they have a leg on you. Blood, I can't lie to you, blood. When it happened to me, that was the only thought I had. Who else knows, blood? Are they laughing at me? Are they mocking me? Do you not respect me as a man? That's all you're thinking, as a man. That's what you're really thinking. It's like, and of course, I'm sure ladies might agree with that too. They might think those things too. But I'm just saying, it's like that is the biggest one. Obviously, I've done some things in my past, so I can't really talk, what I'm saying to you. And, I've been involved in some villain stories. So, God forgive me, what I'm saying to you. So, but anyway, listen, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. Appreciate you guys. The locks are loaded.